We are an adaptive multi-factor authentication solution that leverages behavioral biometrics to step up and step down the authentication mechanism based on a real-time calculation of risk. So our primary objective is to help organizations deploy the zero trust model, to really help them accelerate the adoption of the zero trust, or what Google calls the beyond corp model. So I'm going to show you a little demo here. So this is a sample login page, and I'm just going to log in, and then I can't project this, but my iPhone just got a push notification request, and it's asking me to enter my thumbprint, my Touch ID, and then I entered it, and you can see I just got logged in. Now, why did it ask me for a thumbprint as opposed to a push notification or a passive multi-factor authentication event? If I go to our dashboard and I look at our user history, this is what I've captured. So I know a bunch of static device indicators, and we have the device ID, we have the application that was accessed. From a location standpoint, if I zoom in, you can see that we're in the amphitheater at the Ronald Reagan Center. I know the mobile carrier is AT&T. This is the Wi-Fi SSID. I've been pretty active today. I've walked about 2.2 miles, 4,000 steps that I've taken, and I've climbed about 4 floors. My orientation of my phone was 14 degrees at the time of login, my altitude, and then my familiar Bluetooth device that I have is my LG headphone on me. So how is it from an architecture standpoint that we're actually doing this? So if you look at how this system basically works, is first we're collecting a series of device data and application data. Then from there, we go into applying an extremely granular set of location policies. We're able to geofence. We have the geovelocity calculations that we do. And then we measure behavioral risk, which is based on a lot of the biometric or fitness activity indicators that are produced by accelerometer, gyroscope, light meter, all of the different sensors in your device. And then from there, we run predictive analytics algorithms to determine what is anomalous behavior and what is not anomalous behavior. The idea behind this is to have a continually evolving and extremely robust behavioral biometric profile that allows us to do really 2 things. To make multi-factor authentication extremely seamless through a passive MFA process and provide that elevated authentication for customers. And then secondly, to provide a level of visibility into end user activity that security administrators simply do not have today. So that's really what we're trying to do. I have a world-class team of developers and data scientists here, so please come by our booth, and thank you very much.
More bonus points. And question time.
I have a question. How consistent are individuals' behaviors? Meaning you might walk 2 miles one day and you're walking 8 miles the next day, and the degree you hold something, etc.
Yeah, so we're currently in the middle of 2 pilot projects, 3 more in the pipeline, so I don't have a hard answer for that. But what I can tell you is that in order for us to determine what is consistency, we have machine learning algorithms that will take a look at the data, and they'll determine what is statistical significance. And then once we achieve that statistical significance, we'll be able to forecast that out with a certain confidence interval, and then be able to determine what is anomalous behavior and what is predicted.
What are the primary areas you're looking for investment in over the next year or so?
We have 3 paths to market. So a couple of things are really compliance driven. So just last March, the New York Department of Financial Services released a new set of regulations for its very prescriptive risk-based multi-factor authentication. And that is a new set of regulations that just came out. We approached that directly. And then the second is, since late 2014, we have had elevated authentication requirements for access to electronic medical records within HIPAA. And then third is Article 9 within GDPR. Those are the 3 compliance-driven use cases. But of course, any large enterprise that has a need for controlling access to sensitive data can deploy this kind of a solution.
So from a privacy perspective, there's a lot of interesting data about that individual or you on that dashboard. So how is that permission to the relying party, and how is it controlled by the user or not?
We don't know identity. So what we do is we hash the username. So we never actually take on credentials. So we collect user activity until we achieve that statistical significance, then we delete it. But we are not able to associate that behavioral biometric data with the identity of the user based on a hash that we use. We do, or we will, as we're developing this further, have the capability to correlate our attribute data with either centralized stores like Active Directory, and if we do see a shift towards a blockchain digital distributed identity platform, we should be able to correlate with those attributes as well.
What is the metric for success for your customers, and what have you been able to prove in terms of impacting that metric?
Yeah, so we are, like I said, a short answer, we are in the middle of 2 pilots, and we have 3 more in the pipeline. I'd love to be able to answer that question afterwards. Thank you.
But not in the next 20 minutes.